of the WNBA crash out. We got another crash out, man. This is crazy, man. We have to revisit a crash out, and we have legend, Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo actually finally setting these ladies straight. Yo, you guys are turning people.
That energy right there, that dismissive, almost angry tone when talking about new fans, that's not an isolated incident. That's a pattern that's been building throughout the entire CBA negotiation process. And it's costing the WNBA something they can't afford to lose right now: public support. Elle Duncan said on ESPN that new fans are sucking the life out of the WNBA. Not bringing life to it, sucking it out. Let that sink in for a moment. The league just experienced its most watched season in over 2 decades. Pulled in record sponsorship deals and got wall-to-wall coverage on every major sports network. And one of the most prominent voices in women's basketball media is complaining about the fans who made that possible.
The new fans are sucking the life out of... No, the new fans breathe life into the WNBA because it was dead damn near. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Elle Duncan? This energy has translated up through now. Nasty work.
The truth. You are right. You are right, new fans. There has never been more viewership because of Caitlin Clark. There's never been more attention. They're doing 40 minutes on First Take about Caitlin Clark. They never did that before.
Hey, and you know what? And you know what they're not doing now, Elle Duncan? They're not doing 40 minutes on the WNBA when Caitlin Clark...
Here's the reality check. Monica McNutt and others kept insisting there were compelling storylines before Caitlin Clark arrived. Great competition, exciting players, important narratives that deserved attention. But here's the problem with that argument. If those storylines were actually compelling to a mainstream audience, people would have been watching. The numbers don't lie. Before the 2024 season, WNBA games averaged around 400,000 viewers on a good night. Most games pulled in between 2,000 and 300,000. Compare that to the Indiana Fever's games with Caitlin Clark, which routinely hit 1.5 to 2 million viewers. Her playoff games against Connecticut pulled over 3 million viewers. That's not a slight increase. That's a complete transformation of the product's marketability.
NBA negotiation. Dun, 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 dun. We're just going to talk about it a little bit. Obviously still ongoing. We talked about that earlier in our pod today. You actually were quoted somewhere saying this is the first time you have zero fear around the league folding, right? Which I totally know what you mean. It's like in other negotiations, there was always not like it was actually going to fold, but it was like, hey, we got to figure this out. How are we going to do this? Kind of a vibe. All right. So from your perspective, what should be like the high priorities for this agreement?
It's been interesting to kind of see how it has all evolved. And one of the things that strikes me is like the deal that, as you read it, that the owners have on the table for the players. And, I'm not privy to all of the information, but like, it looks like a pretty amazing deal. And that, like, if the players took the deal that's on the table right now, they should feel great about it because it's huge.
And this is where Rebecca Lobo, a WNBA legend and Hall of Famer, steps in with some much-needed perspective. She's not some outside critic. She's someone who played in the league, who understands the struggles, who wants these players to succeed. And even she's saying, you're losing people with how you're communicating. Look at what's actually on the table in these CBA negotiations. A maximum salary over $1.2 million. An average salary around $500,000. Revenue sharing for the first time in league history. Full benefits including housing stipends, childcare support, and travel accommodations that go far beyond what previous generations received. The owners are offering to continue investing in practice facilities, charter flights, and infrastructure improvements. Rebecca Lobo practiced at a middle school gym on the Upper East Side when she played for the New York Liberty on a court that wasn't even regulation size. That was the reality for WNBA players for years. The current generation has legitimate NBA-level facilities, and they're about to get even more. But when that offer gets presented, the response from the Players Association was to call it a slap in the face.
Some of the rhetoric I've heard from their side has been a little bit troublesome. Like when a deal is presented that's over $1 million max salary and revenue share, it's called a slap in the face. Like it's that just use different words, and I'm worried that the players might be getting to a point where they might be losing some of the support from the public, and I think that's been
That phrase right there is slap in the face. That's what Rebecca Lobo is talking about when she mentions the rhetoric problem. Because to the average person watching this unfold, calling a $1, $2 million max contract a slap in the face doesn't land the way players think it does. The median household income in America is around $75,000. Most people will never see $500,000 in a single year, let alone as an average salary. So, when WNBA players publicly reject that offer with language that suggests it's insulting, it creates a disconnect. Not because the players don't deserve good compensation, they absolutely do, but because the framing makes it seem like they're out of touch with the economic reality most fans live in.
Again, it felt like, wow, the players have 100% support of the fan base in the WNBA. And as these negotiations have gone on, it feels like some of that is waning. And I think some of it has just been some of the language and the verbiage and that sort of thing that we've heard from the Players Association. I think the players just need to be a little bit more careful with how they're articulating things, because if you're working whatever job, a max salary of 1.2 million, average salary of 500,000, if you don't think it's fair, that's fine, but don't call it a slap in the face. You know, I think that there's there are things that need to be done a little bit better when it comes to the language.
And here's what's particularly damaging about this whole situation. The players had overwhelming public support going into these negotiations. The pay us what you owe us shirts at the All-Star game, fans were behind that. The push for better travel conditions and charter flights, fans supported it. The demand for revenue sharing, most people thought that was completely reasonable given the league's growth. But then something shifted. Nneka Ogwum's comments about Commissioner Kathy Engelbert got booed heavily at a game in Las Vegas. Not because fans suddenly turned against players asking for fair compensation, but because the tone and approach started feeling entitled rather than justified. When you're getting booed by your own fan base during what should be a moment of solidarity, that's a sign something has gone wrong with your messaging.
1000% with Rebecca Lobo. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all don't know what y'all getting in front of these cameras and microphones and saying. Y'all sound ridiculous. And I also think that there were a lot of fans who are unaware of a lot of the perks and the things that the WNBA has done and does do for these players, to be honest with you. So I think a lot of this information coming out has turned people off from the players, and it has lost some support from the people amongst the players. And it seems like there's been a shift toward more people are actually in lockstep with the owners than they are the players right now. You know what I mean? And I think, you got Natasha Cloud saying ridiculous things. Nafisa Collier saying, I'm showing y'all how to run a business and they can't even get no viewership. TNT might want to get out the damn deal. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. So I agree 100% with Rebecca Lobo. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Just keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel.